Charanjit Shah, founder and principal architect of Creative Group. Professor Charanjit Singh Shah, architect, planner and infrastructure experts with 5 decades of practice. He is a practicing architect, planner, author, scholar, educationist, teacher, art and architecture critic, and practicing in creating sustainable green architecture. He is the author to many books in architecture and recently authored Redefining Indian Sustainable Smart Cities. He has been the chairman of Indian Institute of Architects Northern Chapter, founder General Secretary, Guild of Practicing Architects, professional advisor to many bodies, and he is also an editor for the American Biographic Institute. He is awarded with the CBRI Lifetime Achievement Award, Architectural Design Architects Award of 2016, National Unity Award of 1995, Udyog Gaurav Award of 1996. Recently awarded with Jewels of Punjab Award by the Honorable ex-Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. Rajpur Airport adjudged by a Best Airport in India by Ministry of Tourism for 5 consecutive years. Best Infrastructure Project of the Year, Ultratech Award, Chennai Airport. Goa Airport, Best Operating Airport. His work speaks of his contributions looking beyond architecture and development of large infrastructure projects like airport, metros, railway stations, transit orientation development, intermodal hub, and creating sustainable, walkable, cyclable neighborhood and creating Indian sustainable smart cities of tomorrow. He is being adorably called as the Airport King. He is a widely traveled professional and delivers guest lectures globally and propagates sustainability in built forms. Let us now proceed to Professor Charanjit Singh Shah's presentation.
Hello everybody, my colleagues, my professional brothers, students of architecture and I would also say engineering. I am Professor Charanjit Singh Shah. I am from Delhi. I am an architect as a planner, as an author, as a critic. You can say as I am a person with nature, look upon things together. And my 50 years of legacy in architecture perhaps looks upon in a very, very different manner. I will just give you a background that I was born in a refugee camp in Puranakila. Then, I just kept on my father's vision that I should become an engineer and architect. And then I joined architecture. I got admission in School of Planning and Architecture in Delhi. The type of passionate architects which I traveled with were like, you can say Professor Jawala, A.P. Kanwinde, and Raj Raval, Joseph Bernstein, those were the type of Jasbir Sani, Jasbir Sachdev, Shivnath Prasad, Kuki Mathur, and also during the study, we were taught so much about Le Corbusier. I'm just narrating this that was the growth of education in my School of Planning and Architecture, which has really put me into a lot of passion of sustainable architecture. And perhaps that is what the journey is all about. Once you are very passionate, and you really love and you are in romanticism in architecture, that is putting soul into architecture. Architecture and architect, I generally call that you are like a miniature god and you have to look upon various aspects in terms of creating architecture like a creator, and then you need to rest within your own creation. So that is what, when I say that I rest in my creation, is that I rest myself like a putting soul into architecture. So that is what I travel through, understanding the sustainable architecture in terms of, it's more onto passive ways of architecture, where you talk about the shape and size of the building, the envelope of the building, mutual shading. You talk about all these factors wherein you are looking into the natural resource management. You're talking about the terrain, you're talking about the topography, you're talking about all these things put together, which creates a holistic architecture. See, is architecture perhaps no longer a mother of all arts? It's like father of all arts, sciences, technology, and various other elements of applied architecture which you need to look upon. So as students, I would say that all these different subjects, which we call then applied elements of different subjects of architecture, maybe structures, climatologies, you talk about lighting, electrical, mechanical, all these are fundamentally to be interwoven into a design process thought. And once you start looking at all those things and they are interwoven into a design, then you come into the process of evolution of design. And that evolution of design, where all these matters are taken and interwoven, give me ultimately sustainable architecture, which will be grounded, which will be with the nature, and which will grow out of the nature or out of the soil. So it's like, how do you see that the terrain, the topography, the culture, it's like architecture for the people and for the place, and for the socio-economical condition, and for the climatical zoning. So once I understand all these in terms of the solar oscillation, in terms of wind direction, in terms of resource management, in terms of understanding the functionality, and perhaps then I start looking into how the overall form becomes functional, and the functionality and the form start complementing each other. And that, I always make a statement that gives me a holistic architecture, and that will only grow when I generally spelled out that a built form should not be treated as a mass of brick and concrete, but as a living organism which breathes and which is embodied in nature, with nature. And that is how, in the process, I start the romanticism of architecture. Then you start working 24/7. So that perhaps is the way I looked upon architecture, the passion, and then we created a lot of buildings which really oscillate with the sun. That is from National Cooperative Union of India, Jawaharlal Nehru National Cooperative Complex in Hoskas in New Delhi, a multi-storied complex where all these factors, passive architecture has developed, inspired from Joseph Allen Stein or Le Corbusier. And then you talk about many more other products like Golden Hut, which we prepared, which we designed, old timers. And then slowly progressively in the south, then we made Amudham dairy plant, which is again like a organism in architecture. And there we have all these RCC vault, musical vaults, playing with that vault, creating architecture which is actually adhering to local Vastu as well. So fundamentally, it's a process where you look upon all these things. Then we came into various other large, corporate buildings like, Haryana Power Generation Corporation's head office in Panchkula, HPGSL, Oil India, and many more like Sugna Poultry, CRI Farms. All these corporate offices are practically made sustainable and as elite accredited as platinum rated buildings. So this is eventually in the corporate sector. Then also we started looking at various other large conventional facilities of more than 5,000 people in Congo Engineering College in Perundarai near Coimbatore, and many more other places. You know, even we went across the world, and even in Gambia we are doing large convention facilities. Now recently we are now doing in Anna University a mega convention center of more than 5,000 people. So, keeping the journey, the process on, then we were able to create large infrastructure works, many airports, then in railway station, metro stations, an intermodal hub, all these things that we started looking at, and that is how the Chennai airport, one of the greenest airport, a large project of more than 2,000 crore, have been visioned out by us at Creative Group, and I being the founder principal, along with principal architect Gurpreet Shah, who looked upon all these things in a very precisely, I would say, taking it lead through the sustainability, and we created all the sustainable architecture and large campuses, large airports are no more as mega energy guzzlers, but sustainable green campuses. So that is what we look upon. Various airports like Raipur Airport, Vadodara Airport, Agartala Airport. Nowadays we're doing Varanasi, Bhubaneswar, Rajkot, and now recently we've gone across India and we're doing Nepal Airport. So this is how, and also we into the greenfield master planning of the airports. We do A to Z. Today is the time when we need to look beyond architecture and we say holistic development, and how we create, we talk about all management put together, quality, time, resource management, financial management, all put together, single window approach, and you become deliverable. So all these aspects are very important, my dear friends, and this is what my journey of 50 years really made me, that how from a freelance you can now start growing into a corporate and looking big. You think big, you'll be able to do big, and once you do that, the sky is the limit. So now India is actually in new making. We perhaps need to see how large developments of the railways, Indian railways could be done, mixed use development. And why? Because railways is the prime land today, and where what is happening is that the railways are spread out on ground, and fortunately we have practically the airspace with us. So let us see how we use the airspace, and that is called as layering the city. And we start layering the city with more development, and the railways tracks are on the ground, and at upper level we start looking at and using the airspace for mixed use development, for practically many district centers, as you know, because railways are now becoming the largest intermodal hub. So is the airport, so is the metro station. And once I look upon all these as large intermodal hubs, the connectivity is as last mile connectivity, and I reach out to a place, why not create workspace? Why not create working as well as residential spaces in the railway station area, and that most of the vacant land of the railways could be used for these type of developments. This is how, because today cities are choking. Urbanization is taking a very, very speedy, fast development, and practically what happens that we need to address issues where we start looking at digging out areas within the city with no areas. And it's like we're layering the city, 1, 2, 3, 4 flyovers, then you see metros, then rapid metro, then today we talk about many more other things put together, and it's become like one layer to another layer to another layer, multi-layers in the city, perhaps are shadowing the city, and by virtue of these multi-layers, we are getting more of air pollution, water pollution, and also sound pollution. So let's see, perhaps today is the time when we need to see why go over layering, why not go under layering, and we start looking at 5, 6, 7 floors below the ground, and my infrastructure goes below, my car parks go below, and like cities like Manhattan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Tokyo, all these, the layers are below the ground, and ground is free for people to walk around, move around, cycle around, and that is how we create walkable cities. So now, today what's happening is the cities are not meant for the cars or the transport to move, but cities are probably exclusively meant for the human to walk around and to enjoy and create spaces which are absolutely green, and where I say I'm having fresh air. So I would just conclude with saying this, that with my 50 years of legacy in professional practice, going through the various stages of looking into architecture, court architecture, to valuation, to assessment, to legality, to many more other professional ways of looking at, it's like lensing your profession through various parameters. I have understood that we need to see that we look upon passionately for architecture, but perhaps beyond architecture, and where I start looking at it in a such holistic manner that I come into the romanticism of architecture, and that will give me a production where I am working with my soul, and that is what we see, that you put soul into architecture, and soul can only be there when your architecture starts breathing, and that in the late stage for the last 1 decade, all our works are more into soul in architecture, belonging next to architecture, which I say Bhubaneswar Airport, or I say Varanasi Airport, or I say Kartarpur Terminal Corridor Building, which have sort of, these projects are made for the people, for purpose, and for the place. And how do you see all this? Is you start looking at the great heritage of the city, the various other angles, the art, the culture, the religion, the physical boundaries and behavior and color, form, everything of the city, the various stages of eras of civilization and the growth of the city will make me understand, and complementing the heritage with the contemporary architecture, which will have an interface and will only give me a proper direction where I create a human settlement which is meant for the people. And then I start adoring, I start worshipping, I start loving, and that is once I start loving it, it means I am adoring it. When I am adoring it, I am into romance. It means yes, I put soul into it. So I'll just give you one example and conclude. Then I was sitting one day at my airport, which I've designed is Raipur Airport. So we have beautiful Bastar art, water bodies, beautiful music, inside, interior landscape done, and there was a coffee shop next to that. And after my visit, I just sat there and having a cup of tea, and next table there were 2 guys sitting. They were all saying cup of coffee. They said, oh, such a beautiful nature inside the terminal, beautiful artifact, beautiful rhythm of the water, music. They said, oh, when I sit here with a cup of coffee, I just get relaxed. And I feel so happy, yaar sare din ki thakawat dur ho gayi. So once he said, I said, oh, I have designed it. This is my ownership. Once I start giving the ownership to my work, I become the owner. I become the mother of the child. Every building is my child. And once I start adoring into my architecture, I will behave like my mother. I will not see that any damage is done to my child in the process of planning, or in the process of designing, or in the process of execution, or in the process of maintaining. So all these aspects are that I would advise all my friends, professional students, everybody, let's have the romanticism in architecture. I make my architecture my girlfriend or my boyfriend and start adoring, loving, and be in romance. And once I'm in romance, I will have passionate to create a very humanistic, logical, environment-friendly, sustainable, green in architecture. So that is what I look upon. Let's all pledge today through your I would say the SRM University's icon best celebrated talk, that the intake is we must have passion. With passion, I get hold of my attitude into a good aptitude and I come nearer to perfection. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Charanjit Shah Singh, for your insightful presentation. I'm certain that the audience would have found it to be very informative presentation. Now we shall take a short break for our sponsor video, post which we shall proceed to our next speaker, Architect Vineet Khanna.
I have great pleasure in welcoming you all for the Let's Connect program of Nippon Paint India Private Limited. This program is specifically developed for the architect and the interior designer community to be part of the Nippon Paint family. Nippon Paint, as you all know, is part of the NIPSEA group, which is 137 years old, originated from Japan, and we have widely spread into all the Asian countries. In India, Nippon Paint was started in the year 2006, and that's when Indian Green Building Council was gaining momentum, and since the DNA of Nippon Paint is green, so we joined them in their campaigning of green initiatives, and we became the founding member of IGBC, Indian Green Building Council. And right from 2006 onwards, we have been associated with all their initiatives towards sustainable products and services. And we are the first company to be registered and certified as Green Co for all our manufacturing process. And the products which come out of the factory is also certified as Green Pro. Through this Let's Connect program, we would like to take your unique ideas and your projects through video shoots and sound bites to the industry people and to the audience who are eagerly waiting. Through this Let's Connect program, we create an opportunity for you to share your unique ideas and success stories. You will also have an access to be part of the AYDA program of Nippon Paint, and also into various architectural conferences, CSR activities what Nippon is carrying out in this country. AYDA is a very unique initiative of Nippon Paint, wherein it encourages and enriches the young architect and interior designing students across Asia, and we call this as Asia's Young Designer Award, wherein we want experts like you to mentor them. Through this program, we also create an opportunity for you to meet your peers and work with them closely across the globe. This platform also allows you to create an access to the tools and product information of Nippon Paint, and also there will be a dedicated Nippon team working closely with you. I once again take this opportunity to welcome you all into this Let's Connect program for a mutually beneficial experience. Let's connect.
Welcome to the course Color Psychology. The first module, the background of color, will give you an overview of multiple perceptions in color. We will learn about the scientific background.
I have scientific proof that white light is composed of 7-component colors.
Understand basics of color theory. Take inspirations from colors in nature.
Context matters, you know.
Teleport to different time zones to get historical perspectives of color.
Is Greek architecture devoid of colour? Isn't it completely white?
And finally, dig deep into the human mind to get psychological perspectives of color. We will then go on to explore color in various spatial typologies of architecture and interiors. A transition from theory to practice would happen in the last module on practice and application of color. The journey would be immersive with fun quizzes and activities along the way. Join us in this colorful, fun-filled journey.
Hey!